up, everybody? Michael here. Welcome back to Technoid. And guys, today I'm going to do something very different, and I'm going to be doing this for the rest of the year. Normally I do tech shows. You guys know me. I always cover everything. But I've decided, you know what? I'm going to take a break because I will be going on vacation. But from this point forward, everything that I upload is only going to be personal things, because I'm going to open up, since we're ending this decade. This is the, also sorry, I just had to grab this. Today I've decided to make a top 10 video. Now 2020 is right around the corner. We're 13 days away from starting a new decade. And this whole decade that has passed, I've kind of sat back and reflected the 10 years. Now, obviously, the first 10 years, from years 1 to 10, I couldn't do much because I didn't know how to say anything. But from 2010 to 2020 has been one hell of a ride. From being in middle school, to graduating middle school, to moving out to Staten Island, to being in high school, graduating, and now being in college, and to see so many things change, different shapes and stuff. It was a great drive for me to relive all this. There have been some sad moments, there have always been some great moments, but that's for another personal thing, and I'm not going to get into that. But what I am going to talk about are some YouTube channels, and also ignore the sounds if you do hear them. But today we're going to do something very different. I've compiled a couple of lists that I'm going to be making in honor of the ending of the decade, because, you know, I have a little more common sense, I have a little bit better memory. And it's always fun to look at these 10 years later. Who knows, in 10 years I'll probably be married or something like that. But I've compiled a list to discuss my top 10 YouTube channels from the decade. Now keep in mind, this is only 10 channels with a few honorable mentions. These are channels that have had a significant impact on me through this decade. And I had only 10. I couldn't pick any more than 10. And these aren't in order, these are just thrown out there because honestly, I could give them an order ranking, but I don't think they would do enough justice, personally. I'm saying for me. Now, before we do start this list, I want to say I am going to be making lists as the days go closer to Christmas and before I leave, and I'm working on one very special video. You guys are going to see me progress through the decade on YouTube. I have technically been on YouTube for 10 years. I've never shown anybody this, so I'm gathering 10 years worth of footage from my original roots as a YouTuber to where I'm at now. And I hope you guys will enjoy that. That will be released on December 31st, before the new year. But with that being said, let's start this list. Now, a few honorable mentions. We're gonna go right through the honorable mentions. Lucky Penny Shop, Todd's Kitchen, McJuggernuggets, College Humor, Ray William Johnson, The King of Random, and Nostalgia Critic. Yes, some of them I do watch a little more often, which is why I would have put them in my top 10 list. But the reason I put these on as honorable mentions is because they were popular in their time. Like, if you guys haven't heard of Lucky Penny, it was a review channel. I was into that stuff as a kid, so being able to watch was pretty fun. McJuggernuggets for the Psycho series, that had a big impact on YouTube, so I think it's always important. Even though it was fake and everybody used to just want to find ways to find it fake, we all knew it was fake. And then College Humor. If you don't know what College Humor is, I advise you to go check it out. And The King of Random, Grant Thompson, again, very tragic loss. I have been watching him and I still watch, although probably not as much. And The Nostalgia Critic. If you don't know who The Nostalgia Critic is, I don't know. And Todd's Kitchen. The reason I said Todd's Kitchen, if you don't know who he is, he's a smaller YouTube, but I really like him a lot with his recipes, especially during the holidays, especially Halloween. So I always watch him every year on Halloween to do these special recipes. So those are the honorable mentions. So let's get into the depth of this video. So the first channel up will be Epic Rap Battles of History. Now, ERB back in the day was awesome. In 2010, they were at the peak. That was where I remember all the great moments, like Steve Jobs versus Bill Gates, or Michael Jackson versus Elvis Presley, things like that. Epic Rap Battles was so popular back then. Everybody in my school was singing it on a daily, picking who was gonna be what. And it was just amazing. Now, I still watch them here and there, but they're still not as big as they used to be. But there's no doubt the impact that they've had has left so much great memories that I'll have as a kid. Next up, Angry Grandpa. Now, guys, I know a lot of you don't like Michael, but if we were to take Michael out of the equation, Angry Grandpa as a whole, his channel, what he used to do, was fun and entertaining. I had been watching since 2010, from the early days when they were in the trailer park, to see him to where he's got to. He has had a very significance of entertainment, because even though it was his real life, they put it out there, it was fun to watch, and he brought so much great laughter from me and my family. We used to watch it, and when he passed away, it broke my heart. That was another tragic loss. and I still miss him, and I still watch his videos for all time's sakes. So that's this next. Next up, Rocco. Now, Rocco, I hadn't been watching until 2012 into 2013, when I was just about ready to finish middle school. I remember watching the Ronald McDonald videos of the Psycho series, like of what they do, and it was some of the goriest things, but yet some of the most original stuff I had ever seen on YouTube. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, Rocco is still rocking it. They're awesome. Although they don't do as much as they used to, they're still fun to watch, and I encourage you guys to definitely check it out if you want some gruesome, dark comedy. Next up, VAT19. Now, VAT19, you guys definitely don't know about this, but VAT19 I have followed since 2010, with the world's largest gummy worm to all their fun and cool products. I used to buy from them. I kind of still do on and off. I watch their videos for entertainment, like when they have the spice challenges, to when they promote these fun teasers, the Party Gummy Bear, which is actually a pretty cool song on Apple Music. Trust me guys, I told you I'm going personal right now. But VAT19 is a great company. It's owned by basically people that are just fun people. And I really love their channel, and I really just enjoy. I still watch them, and honestly, I would probably tell you guys to check it out, because VAT19 is one of the funnest channels that you can watch and buy stuff at the same time. I'm still a fan, and I just hope, hell, I would love to be in one of their videos one day, but that'll never happen. Anyway, next up, Spill Review / Double Toasted. Now this is a rare one, because this is actually the same channel but split up. So let me explain. In 2010 to 2014-ish or 15, I forgot the year exactly, Spill was all over the internet. It was growing, everybody knew about it. It was animated reviews by people that were awesome. You had Corey, Leon, who was actually Martin. I don't know why they did that. I would love to ask them why you made Martin's name Leon. And then two other guys that you probably forget about. And then one of them was actually a writer who went on to write a movie for a couple of horror movies like Krampus and a couple of others. But they got taken off of YouTube for some reason. I don't know what happened. I think it was because they probably sold the channel. But then Corey and Martin came back with Double Toasted, which is what I still watch now. Basically, they're movie reviewers that review movies, but they do it in a way where they talk to the people. They're not talking just as critics, but they're talking as fans. They do it in a way where it feels like you could get some laughter, but you can also take it seriously. And I love Corey and Martin. I'll be honest with you guys. When I was a kid watching Spill Review, I always said, I would love to see what they look like in real life. And when I saw that, I was like, well, damn. And Corey himself has worked on animations, so he is also well known in the animations department. But overall, if you could check out some Spill Reviews from the archives as well as Double Toasted, I would definitely advise Double Toasted to check out. It's really good fun, guys. Next up, this one is an old one, and one that has faded into obliteration, but it is still important, Trollark Office. Or Official, whatever it was. So Trollark was a giant trolling channel. Now back in 2011, 2012, when COD was at the peak, I had to put my iPad down for a second, trolling was a big thing. And I still watch trolling channels here and there. Some honorable names are Eminem Twins, Troll Munchies, Burnsy, Eugene Yackle, and a couple of others that are all gone, but their legacy has been left behind with Trollark. Now, Trollark was basically where all these YouTubers came together, created one channel, and would put trolling videos, and it was just so funny. Like, you would watch it, then you go into your game and start doing it to them, and it pissed people off, which was the best part. But by 2013 to 2014, trolling had started to fade, and when 2015 rolled around, it was done. There was no way you could bring it back to what it once was, but the memories, the awesomeness from Trollark was amazing, and I remember every day I would just play Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 2 and just troll the hell out of people. So, the channel is still up. I would encourage you guys to check it out if you do want to see some videos, but Trollark, even though it's not around, it still goes without saying. It was pretty fun. Next YouTuber, Electro Boom. Now, Electro Boom came into the picture when he made his famous video with the help of Ray William Johnson, like I told you guys, how not to make an electric guitar. That was my first ever Electro Boom video, and from that day forth, I've been hooked. He is not only a great YouTuber, he's a very knowledgeable YouTuber, but he does it in a way where it's not only funny, but he teaches you things while he's suffering. That's the whole goal. He shows people his knowledge and experience of electronics, and also talking about voltage, current. He always says it's not the current that kills, it's the voltage. Trust me, in science class, I had an easy A in that class if it weren't for him. Electrical engineering, whew, my father could relate. But the point is, he did it in a way where he would get shocked in real life, but he would basically teach you what not to do. And Electro Boom has been great. I watch all his videos still, and I learn a couple of things here and there from him. And I have messaged him once, but he never responded, so Medi, boo. But still, regardless, great YouTuber. I love him, and I still watch him to this day. Next up, we're now down to the final 3. Now, these ones are not in order. I should have really ordered these, but these are just 10 channels, guys. You can only pick 10. Next up, Smosh. Now, I actually stopped watching Smosh a couple of years ago because Anthony Padilla had left the show. But from a solid 2010 all the way to 2017 to the last food battle, that was where I was watching Smosh for 7 years. Now, I had been watching them previously in 2006 when they used to do their older videos, like the Spider-Man in the park, like their old skits that were like only like less than a minute long. I had been watching Smosh almost all my life, and I still do, but the problem is the new direction of Smosh, it's just terrible. Like, honestly, Smosh has gone downhill. When Anthony left the show, everything went down there. Smosh lost their company, then they sold it, and then they just started doing this and that. And for me, I lost my liking for Smosh because I lost the greatness of what made Smosh fun. It was just 2 guys that were making YouTube videos and made it fun. As they grew and expanded, things only got worse. And for me, when Anthony left, that was the nail in the coffin. But still, I watch all their old videos. They are still so fun and amazing, guys. And they just bring back so much memories. I remember my mom tried to stop me from watching Smosh because she used to hear the profanity from them. And she would always try to block me from watching Smosh. That is how significant Smosh is. And I still watch their old videos, but I can't watch their new stuff. I'm sorry. But Smosh is on that list. Next up, the last 2. The first one, before we say the number 1 on this list, I technically not ranked, but the last one, Annoying Orange. Now, hear me out. In a time when YouTube was still in its creative stages, where everybody was original and creative, there was a YouTuber who grew along with Tobushkas and iJustine before she started doing her tech crap. You had the Annoying Orange. The Annoying Orange was basically a guy, Damo, whatever his name is. He's still doing it, but I don't watch it as much. I probably should watch it because it's good fun. But Annoying Orange is basically just a guy who uses fruits to have fun episodes, and every time these other fruits get chopped up, it's knife. And I remember at a point in my school, everybody was watching it. Annoying Orange was popular. It was one of the coolest things you could watch because it was just simple fun. And it was so popular that it had its own TV show on Cartoon Network, although it didn't really last too long. But still, it was so fun to watch, and it breaks my heart that I kind of stopped watching. They expanded a little bit with Grapefruit, Liam the Leprechaun, but things just never really skyrocketed. And now, Annoying Orange is there, but it's not what it used to be. But again, it's not like Smosh where they went off the cliff. At least they're still doing their same consecutive stuff, and I probably should give it a watch because it has been almost 3 years since I've watched them. But I figured I'd put them on this list because that is pretty much where I sit with that. And last, the final YouTuber that has a very significant impact in my personal entertainment, the last one up, and I saved it for the last, Cinemassacre, aka the Angry Video Game Nerd. If you don't know who the Angry Video Game Nerd is, I highly advise you go look up Cinemassacre. James Rolfe is one of my favorite all-time YouTubers. He is a great person. He has great personality. He's a great YouTuber. He's a great creator. And I actually been watching him even before 2010, when he did Cinemassacre's Monster Madness to the original Angry Nintendo Nerd. So we're talking even before 2010. Again, like Smosh. The only difference is I still watch him to this current point. He is the only YouTuber, with the exception of a few on this list, that I have consecutively been watching year after year after year, because his content is amazing. He is a great guy. The Angry Video Game Nerd is funny. It looks at games from the 80s and the 90s, things that I never grew up with, things even from the 70s, and just bringing them into the spotlight and making you appreciate what we have now, but also talking about how bad these things were. But of course, you never know that because back in those days, you had to buy the game, you had to get it. It is so amazing that I still get to watch him, and it's just a fun guy in general. He's just a fun guy. So I encourage you guys to check him out. And that's my top 10 list of all the YouTubers I have watched throughout this decade. Now, this is more of a personal memoir because in the next 10 years, things are definitely going to change. And this is like my final goodbye to kind of all those things. Even though they'll still be on YouTube, it will never be the same as it once was. But to be able to share it with you guys, to share my enjoyment, it just felt amazing. And I hope that you guys have looked at my list, and I hope you guys can take a look at these YouTube channels for yourselves and you let me know. And that is it for today's episode of Technoid. So guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me. I really appreciate you guys as always. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your top 10 channels down in the comments from the decade. Thank you so much for watching, and peace!